All right, bylaws proposal. So if you were at the practice session, we already talked a little bit about this. The board approved this amendment to be brought forward to the membership. So we want to first put this on the floor. So I need someone to make that motion. I think Tori was going to make that motion.
That's where I'm supposed to say, I move that you said something to the floor and now I don't know what I'm supposed to say, but the thing we're supposed to do, I move that we bring this to the floor so we can move it.
I second that. That
Thank
very
you.
well stated movement there.
Okay. So we have a motion to do this thing.
Claire, this is Esther. Is this coming from a committee?
Huh? This is coming from the board.
It does not require a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Esther. All right, so it has been moved that we adopt this proposal that to amend the bylaws as presented by the board. Is there any discussion? So Mike Minium has asked where it says preferred postal or email. Does that mean the member's choice? Yes, that is the intent of this language, that the member would be given an opportunity when updating their record to state whether they preferred postal mail or email. And then when we send out the notice, for those people who said they preferred email, they would get an email. And if you said you preferred postal, you would get a postcard, as we did this year. But we're hoping that enough people will say email that it will save us some money on postcards and postage. So yes, the intent of this is to allow us to start sending email notices to members. Is there any discussion? If you would like to speak either in favor or against this proposal, you can put something in the chat that says you want the floor, and then you can and then I'll let you unmute and you can speak what you think about it. I am not seeing anyone asking to do any further discussion. If there is no further discussion, we will close debate and move to a vote. Okay, so I said the other day that we would do this by ballot. So there, Jen has given you the form. So everyone can go to the ballot and say whether they support this proposal, this bylaws change or not. So we're going to give it a few minutes to make sure that everyone gets a chance to get their vote in. Based on what happened at the practice session, there may be a few households where more than one person is using the same computer, so we want to make sure there's enough time for more than one person to get their vote in, if necessary, on the same computer. And Credentials Committee will let me know when it looks like all of the voting has been completed. Do we have all the votes in yet? Firmly in the ayes, 871 ayes. So this proposal hereby has passed. Thank you all for approving our proposal. I will be happy to send emails next year instead of so many postcards. It may take a little bit for this to get implemented. We're going to have to spend some time looking at the membership database and the current flow that happens when you renew your memberships to make sure that we have a system that gives you a field to state your preference and that makes sure that everyone clearly understands to go in and make sure their email's up to date and all that kind of stuff. But we'll be working on a process and a procedure for implementing this. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is proposals for member clubs, and there were no such proposals submitted. We will remind people that in the event that a club wishes to submit a proposal, according to our bylaws, you need to do so at least 90 days before a meeting. So that usually means that your club needs to be thinking about the fact that you want to submit a proposal even before you hear that a meeting is happening, because the notice of the meeting doesn't have to go out until 90 days before the meeting, but we also need your proposals by then. So I just want to remind you of that. I did get somebody this year who asked me very, very close to the meeting about, you know, what would a club do if they wanted to change something. So I want to make sure that clubs are aware that you can make your own proposals, but you need to start thinking about them very early and let us know even long before we've scheduled a meeting that you want to make a proposal. Are there any questions before we move on to the awards? What percentage of OUSA members? I don't. Is Amy on the call, and does Amy have any clue what that answer to that question might be? The question is, what percentage of OUSA members have registered with an online account?
Claire, I actually know that answer.
Oh, okay.
So I used that in originally setting up access to Confluence. I would say it's somewhere between 60 and 70%, and there are some notable senses of humor out there that definitely provided emails that do not exist. How do you learn how to update your info or how to make an online account? We have a question, how do we learn how to do this? And I need this to be better defined. Make an online account. Yeah, so you, Ian has provided a link. Thank you, Ian. Any further questions? Yes, I did see your suggestion about life members. The life members are in the database, so we still do have their information, so we can, you know, push out to them via, if we don't have an email for them already, or if their email bounces, we can push out via their postal address that we need them to update their information. Andrew says there was a possibility to create an account, but without a membership. I'm not sure what our system currently does. I'm fairly certain that inside of Neon, it is possible for an account to be created that does not have to be a member, but I don't know if we have that pushed out to the public that makes it possible for someone who's not internal to us to create such an account. I know that internally we can definitely create such an account. Ah, okay. Thank you, Esther. So
So Esther has pointed out that in order for us to email you, we have to have your permission. So that's part of why we're saying, you know, preferred address. We will not push out via email unless you have indicated to us in your membership account that that is what you prefer, is to receive emails.